My name is Blaze. His name is Will Rich. You're listening to the Following Match podcast
Mm,
with Blaze and Will. We got a jam-packed show for you, man.
mm-hmm.
Like for real. You about to be blown away from the activity that we have witnessed over this past weekend.
Yeah, man.
My goodness, WWE
Woo.
has gone in.
Yeah,
Man, so we're gonna pull up the outline, but first I'm gonna go ahead and how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself, man? How did you feel about this big wrestling weekend that we had, man?
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot for a fan. Like I love this stuff, and it was a lot.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can't say I was disappointed. You know, all of it was awesome.
mm-hmm.
The whole shebang was awesome. So
Right.
uh, I think that this show is going to make for a good show here that we're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and start because
Okay.
I was trying to find my outline, and you know what? Scrap that. Let's go ahead and do what we want to do. Let's go ahead and start the show off with the biggest I told you so in the following match with Blaze and Will history.
Right. Right.
Y'all, for 2 weeks, I've been saying Oba Femi is your uncrowned king. I'm
Wow.
still keeping my bold prediction, my first bold prediction, that Oba will win.
Okay.
But why am I saying this? When he wins the tournament.
I heard that.
Real quick, I'm gonna interrupt this segment with my bold take right now.
Bold take.
Blaze's bold take is Oba Femi is going to win the King of the Ring. I've been saying that.
That's true. That's true.
There's been some doubters, not necessarily, communicating with the show, but definitely Will was a doubter. He was like, nah, it's gonna be
Hey,
Jay's.
hey, I can't help but to go for Javon Evans, but it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. So, man, oh man, we got a victory, man. That's what we got. We got Oba Femi defeating Jay Uso to become the King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
He went from being the ruler to
Right.
being the king.
Right.
Man, that match. I like the outcome better than the match itself. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Um, the match, I don't know why Jay got so much offense. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't. Um, but let's not take away from the fact that I was right.
Right. Right.
I told everyone so. And the biggest surprise for me was there was no Brock Lesnar interference.
True.
None. Zero. No interference. Yet we still got the victory, which made so much more sense. I would rather Oba Femi just squash Jey Uso. He'll be good. He'll be all right.
Right.
Than to have the match that we had. The best things about that match to me was the entrance for both men.
Okay.
Oba Femi throwing Jey Uso towards the end,
Right.
and then fall from grace. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. And then Oba Femi getting the crown and talking his stuff.
Right.
That's part of the matches. That's what it was. That was the best part of that match.
Right.
Was me being right.
I mean, you was, man. You was right. Like I wanted Jay. I mean, not Jay, but Javon. You know what I'm saying? To be there with him,
Yeah,
and I
I
wanted
wanted to move
Javon
on.
to get the victory. But it's all good. I definitely enjoyed seeing Oba get the victory. And far as what you said about Jay having so much offense, I just felt like they wanted everyone to believe that Jay was actually gonna pull it off. You know, I think that's where all that offense came from. But I
I mean,
mean,
I guess, but I already knew what was going to happen.
yeah.
I already knew the truth. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just a formality at that point. The crown was waiting for him. If they were the kind of people to put Oba on the crown, it
Mm-hmm.
was already on there. It was on there 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So I, I was right.
All right. Well, I mean, yes, you were right. You were right. But
Thank you. I just needed to hear that.
yeah,
I
you
needed to
did.
hear that a few times. Now I feel good. Now we can move on.
Oh man, now you want to move on to the next topic. You got it right. Now you
Nah,
want to move on to the next.
nah, we good, we good. So here's what I want to touch on too. So um Raw. Let's go ahead and move on to Raw just because
Right,
it's related to me being right.
right.
Um, but there's a caveat. I just had to say all that because there's a caveat to me being right. Because my full prediction was Oba Femi is going to win and he's going to challenge Roman Reigns.
I know, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah, you
I
did
was
say
I
that.
was I was half right. I'll admit that. I was half right
Yeah.
because Oba Femi came out and man, he was out there taking in all the adulation,
Mm-hmm.
taking in all the love, and just letting everybody know that let me take a step back. His entrance. There's always something different about his entrance.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the entrance though, this time. It was after the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And the fans still chanting Oba, Oba, Oba. Oba Femi was like, all right, that was adulation fit of a ruler. Now let's
Mm-hmm.
give me some adulation as a king.
Right.
I was like, ooh, Oba, that's the confidence I'm talking about.
Right. 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 Right.
And they gave it to him. They gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Reminded me, just thinking about it, it reminded me of Roman Reigns acknowledge me a little bit.
Yeah.
And not necessarily something he would do every week, but just that energy that the crowd gave him was that,
Right. Right. Right.
so I wanted to touch on that real quick. But yeah, like it wasn't very long, unless I missed something. It wasn't very long before Brock Lesnar came out and interrupted,
Yeah. It wasn't long. It
you
wasn't
know.
long. He didn't even get a chance to talk for 5 minutes before Brock came out.
Right, exactly. Brock Lesnar came out, and to my surprise, Brock Lesnar had the mic way longer than Paul Heyman.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get a ladies and gentlemen. We didn't get a Brock Lesnar. We didn't get that.
Right.
We got Brock Lesnar talking for himself for felt like 10 minutes. Probably wasn't 10 minutes, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just touch on things that I remember. So Brock Lesnar said, "Yeah, I heard while I was gone, you was talking some stuff."
Mm-hmm.
Um and I heard that what did he say? You called me some names.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he laid out the names that was called. You gotta watch the segment because I'm not gonna do it any justice and I'm not gonna say those words. So
Oh
I'm a
yeah, I got a chance to watch it before the show, man. And
yeah, yeah.
I mean I mean, what can you say, man? I mean, for me, I'm disappointed, but I'm happy at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That
happy for Oba. Yeah, I'm happy for
yeah.
Oba. Brock Lesnar um went into the ring, continued talking,
Mhm.
talking, some trash, and um ultimately Brock Lesnar went low. I don't mean
Yeah, he
figuratively
went
either.
low low.
He went low. Like the
Yes.
only way
Yes.
we was talking about before the show, the only way he could probably get under
Oh my gosh,
Oba Femi's skin is to just,
man. Right.
kick him in the family jewels. And that's what he did. So I don't know what his family jewels are made out of, but Oba Femi wasn't down for long.
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't, man. It's I just don't I don't know what to say. Like I said, I'm happy because I am happy that Oba Femi won. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
outside of that, the reason why I said I don't know if I should be happy or disappointed is because like I'm happy that we get to see Brock and Oba go at it for a third time, and not
Right.
only go at it like they going at it, hell in a cell. Like I mean
That's right.
that
That's right.
that's gonna be a crazy match, but at the same time, it's like I'm used to the King of the Ring challenging for the world title.
Yeah.
So it's
That,
like it's like that kind of like changed everything, man. And it's like
yeah.
I'm trying to not keep it on a traditional type level because I feel like a lot of different instances the last couple of weeks they've been doing non-traditional things, which is cool because I
Right.
mean you want to
Yeah.
switch it up. You want to keep us guessing versus us knowing what's going to happen next.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You wanna keep everyone on their toes, and that's definitely what WWE is doing. The thing that how do you explain away? And they did it on Raw. They explained away that basically Oba Femi is like, yeah, I'm sure that I want to go ahead and fight Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Championships will come. So he's basically like, look, I'm gonna win anyway, whenever I'm
Right.
ready. That's
Right.
basically what he's saying. But for those who pay attention to storylines and precedent and all that,
Mhm.
you're setting the precedent now that not everyone has to challenge for the title when they win the King of the Ring. And it brings
True.
into question, well, what does winning the King of the Ring mean then? What's the point? What's the whole point
Well,
of talking about it all this time that the winner, even before the match, the winner of the match gets a main event match with a WWE champion of their choosing?
mhm. I think this kind of like I think that right there, like that came about, you know, maybe like a decade or so ago. But before then, the King of the Ring was always just a tournament to tell who's the best in the WWE slash WWF when it was in WWF at the time.
Right.
Who's
Yeah.
the best? You know,
Hmm.
it wasn't until last decade where they came out with, okay, well, let's go ahead and, make the King of the Ring be able to challenge for SummerSlam or whatever,
Hmm.
to continue to make SummerSlam what it has become today. Like it's a huge event. They got 2 nights now.
2 nights. Yep. I think it's the first ever this year, so it's gonna
No, no,
be.
no, no. I think it's the second.
I
Cause the
might be
first,
thinking about
yeah,
another
yeah, the
show.
first one was in New York because they had Cardi B host.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
so I think it's the second year.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think I might be thinking about another show that they thinking about making 2 nights. I think I heard rumblings about or saw it, read it somewhere about a 2 night Royal Rumble, which I'm okay with
yeah,
actually.
I would be okay with that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind seeing a 2 night Royal Rumble.
Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm trying to get back on topic again. I forgot what the topic was.
Yeah, well, pretty much them breaking tradition on the
Yeah,
the
yeah,
King
breaking
of the Ring
traditional.
winner. They don't have to challenge for a world title right away. You know.
Right, exactly, exactly. Now, what I thought was when I first heard that he was going to challenge Brock,
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be able to still use his opportunity to challenge whatever he wanted to. That's what I thought. But the way that they worded it, and they might change it, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's foregoing his opportunity, period. Like
Oh,
that's
okay.
what
I didn't see that part. That's news to me.
yeah. Yeah, because there was a backstage segment where Adam Pierce was like, "Okay, so are you sure you want to do this? You're giving up your opportunity, period." And that's when
Yeah.
Oba Femi
No.
was like, "Yeah, I don't need it. The championships will come." So now it's calling into question how they going to get Oba Femi back into the title picture. Oh no,
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of see, and that's another reason why I say I was confused by this move. Like, it's just taking me a while to understand it. So my whole thing, I was thinking, okay, well, if he's challenging Brock, he's still your quote unquote number one contender for
supposed to be.
a
Yeah,
title of his choosing, whichever title that he chooses. So since you said it was worded like that, like you're foregoing it, it's like, well, damn. So it's almost like they setting up Royal Rumble for him next year,
I can see that, and I didn't think about that, but
or Money in the
that
Bank.
very well could
You
be.
still
Or
got
Money
Money
in
in
the
the Bank.
Bank. You still got that, yeah, man. You know what it's doing though? It's doing what Paul Heyman has been saying though, that Brock Lesnar is the main event. That's basically what this is.
I mean, man, like which like title matches is gonna top Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi Hell in a Cell? Like that's gonna be crazy, man. Like we thought these first two matches of theirs were crazy. Like this third one, this trilogy, oh my. Like
I look, I know that Triple H said that the Hell in a Cell matches are going to be actually used to mean something.
right.
This is an excellent reason to use it, I say.
Yeah.
It's just how they got there is kind of calling is I'm calling that into question how they got there. That's all.
Yeah,
But
same, same.
let's just call it. Let's just let it play out.
Right.
Now, I think that's the best thing to do. Let it
Right.
play out because if we don't, we're just gonna be like, I don't understand it, all this and all that.
Yeah,
Let's just
yeah,
let it play
yeah.
out, man. Because if we don't, we're gonna start not enjoying the show, and that's not.
Right.
So I feel like we kind of nitpick the heck out of that, but it's warranted though.
Yeah. I agree.
What do you want to talk about next? Because we talked about the main thing, the main talking point,
Mhm.
but do you want to talk about the shows that happen on the weekend around Night of Champions, or do we want to kind of mix it up a little bit?
Yeah,
We could mix it up with Trick Williams,
right. Right,
Ricky
right.
Saints match. And that's actually mostly Night of Champions anyway, actually.
Mhm.
Is there anything from SmackDown before I go into that? Is there anything from SmackDown that we want to talk about? Probably not, actually.
Yeah. Actually it is. One thing
What's that?
you've been calling, another thing that you was talking about far as last week between the developing story between Julia and Blake Monroe.
That's
Yeah.
right. You're right. That is definitely worth talking about because finally, after weeks of coming soon
Right.
vignettes, Blake Monroe
yes.
has debuted.
Yes.
Well, she attacked
Mhm.
Julia
Right.
after Julia had a match defeating Kiana James.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, we've been talking about this a little bit, trying to speculate when she's gonna come out.
Right.
And this is the unexpected. We didn't expect this really. As
Yeah.
far as an attack from behind, sure, maybe
Right,
talking
right, right.
with each other and stuff like that, since they kind of did that last week too,
Mhm.
but or the week before last rather. But just to briefly touch on it, I think it's a good rivalry. I think it gives her something to do right away rather than just talking and no one knows what she's going to do next.
Right.
Um, a nice little touch, which I think in a way connects her NXT developments with her main roster now developments, is she's aggressive. She's been aggressive with
Yeah.
attacking.
Yeah.
That's something that I don't think it was like that when she first debuted on NXT. But I
No.
think I like the connective tissue that they're doing where they're not forgetting that she earned and gained that edge. So I
Right.
think that's cool.
Right. I like the fact that they're keeping it because you mentioned that too a couple of weeks ago how they gave her that and that Tatum Paxley feud that she had. So I like it. She keeping the edge that she left NXT with and
Right.
bringing it over to SmackDown against Julia. So I feel like their rivalry is it's gonna be great, man. I can't wait to see where it goes, and I'm happy to see her finally on the roster. Like
Finally.
yeah,
Yeah. This is a long time coming, so I'm glad she's here and hopefully good things are to come,
right.
with the rivalry between Blake Monroe and Julia. So that's the main thing I wanted to talk about with that. Did I
Hmm.
close? So I think we can go ahead and go into our Ricky Saints and Trick Williams analysis on that one.
Yeah.
I think I might actually have a hot take, man.
Okay. Okay. Wow. On
A bold take
I wouldn't have
rather.
never thought you would have one on this. Yeah. Okay. Can't wait to hear this.
So I'm gonna preface it with I like Trick Williams, still do.
Mhm.
I like Ricky Saints, still do.
Mhm.
Came away from the match feeling like the story wasn't the match. It was what happened after the match. So my bold take was that
Mm,
match was a little lackluster for what we are used to seeing with both Ricky Saints and Trick Williams.
right.
I think of all the matches on Night of Champions, that match just felt like it was missing something. Like I can't put my finger on it, but it just seemed like there was no juice to it. It just felt like they were fighting to be fighting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, the title was on the line, but for some reason, I just didn't feel like they were fighting like that.
right.
Yeah, so the bold take here is that they can't have something like that again because we might start losing, faith in both
Oh
Ricky and
man.
Trick. That's my bold take. It's not a prediction, it's just a take.
Got you, got you, got you. Got a bold take this week. I
Yeah,
mean, look, I feel you on that. I wasn't that impressed with their match. I will give them a slight, like excuse due to the fact that Trick he won't in the States, that much. He got married or whatever.
yeah,
So I mean
yeah,
I'll give him a out with that one. But I mean now it's kind of like you left all the fans, some room to just wonder
right,
what if they had the time to really build up this rivalry like they could have. So hopefully, it's just a little warm and they're gonna add some more heat to it and get that fire going a little bit, man. Hopefully.
yeah,
Cause I feel
yeah,
like they definitely left a lot on the table and a lot left to really like wonder what if.
yeah. Right, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see once SmackDown is back in the States, what reception will Trick Williams get? Because like you said last week, him being missing,
Mm-hmm.
of course we didn't know the reason why he was missing at first, but now we know,
Right.
because he had he got married and clearly had his honeymoon down in Jamaica and all that stuff. So um another thing is he probably has because again, having a whole, and all that stuff. I don't know
I
if you ever
know,
watch
right?
like Wedding Crashers and whatever you want to watch.
Yeah.
That's a lot of energy, both
Yeah.
for the husband and the
Yeah.
wife. So um and a lot of focus, so he probably couldn't focus as much on wrestling. He probably can get his workouts in
Right.
and maybe just touch base with WWE like, yeah, yes, I am coming back, don't worry, kind of thing.
Right.
But I think they was very gracious to give him that time,
Oh
but
yeah.
it was a risk to do that.
Yeah. It was
Um,
it was a risk. And you can
yeah,
definitely tell that they were off, but I will give them credit to their professionalism. Like they were able to pull it together and give us at least a decent match and not a whole, washout or whatever. Like it
right.
ain't it ain't
Yeah,
like they
yeah.
bombed or whatever, like they
They didn't
still
bomb.
they still were able to, give us a decent match. So
Yeah, that's true.
uh
That's true.
I gotta really give them, some kudos for that professionalism.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I definitely got to give that kudos too. The one thing I remember happening during that match, which they Ricky Saints did a knee, and I was like, wasn't that just a trick shot?
Yeah, man, and that
But they
that
didn't call it that, and it wasn't like a pin attempt for real. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
like so even psychology, it's like why would they do that? Sure, Triple H has his knee that he does.
right,
Sure, other wrestlers do it too, but
right.
it's like it was exactly maybe there was no build up to it, so
Yeah,
maybe
they
that's the
was
difference.
they was
But
just
still,
trying. They was trying things, and you can tell
yeah,
they was trying things.
yeah,
And
yeah, for sure.
just like I said, like they didn't have enough time to really put together something. I feel like, and that just showed
All
right
right.
then because when he did do that knee, that's the first thing I thought of. I said, "Dang, he put out a trick shot."
Yeah.
So it's like you could just tell they didn't have the time, plain and
Yeah,
simple.
you know what, and that's a good point. It was one of the shorter matches, if not the shortest match.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
could tell they didn't have a lot to do because it did
right,
start out hot. Though. I'm not gonna lie, it started out pretty hot
yeah,
because Ricky Saints, went on that attack early, like really early. Like
yeah.
Trick Williams still had his white coat on and
Uh huh.
everything,
Yep.
so. it was still just, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and get you now. I want this title now, kind
Right.
of thing. So I'm okay with that. It just tapered off as soon as Jacket came off.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. I hate that I'm like this about that
I
match because
know,
otherwise
right?
they're good.
Because that like we love both of them, man. So I
Yeah,
feel you. I hate feeling this way about the match too, but I mean, hey, we gotta call it like it is,
yeah,
Got
yeah.
to.
I will say though, there was a moment in the match, a couple moments a moment in the match itself that I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I like when people pull out Eddie Guerrero moves, especially ones
Oh
you don't see
yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
So when Ricky Saints hit the ring steps and then handed
Right,
through
right,
the
right, right.
the,
It puts you
the
right in that
kendo stick,
mindset. Uh-huh.
yeah, it was like, yo, that was kind of smart,
Right,
and it got
right, right.
Lil Yachty right there, so I did like that. I did like that. So it's not all, critique here. I did like the fact that they incorporated that into his character because if he can keep doing that, I
Yeah.
think fans will start reacting more to him. Because
Yeah.
it still seems like they're getting used to Ricky Saints.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta get used to that cocky confidence that he brings or
Yeah,
whatever. And it's like
yeah,
not it's not like he's coming with a huge made following like for instance Jay Cargill did, like
right.
he's not coming with that. So it's gonna take people some time to warm up to him, but I feel like they will because I mean, hey, if you watch NXT like we do, we saw what Ricky Saints was able to do in the short period of time that he was there. Like
Yeah,
he grew on us. We couldn't stand him at first, man. Then
right,
this before we started even podcasting, like
right. He was like,
like both of us was like, huh? I don't like him or whatever, but it's
right,
like
right.
eventually he grew on us. So I feel like the same thing gonna happen with fans that just watch mainly main card stuff.
Right,
Right.
exactly, exactly. He'll come around.
Yeah,
Uh,
they'll come
the
around.
last thing, one last thing before I go to the last thing I want to talk about with this match, this segment.
Okay.
Did you notice? It was very subtle, but did you notice that the fans did something a little bit different, to go along with Ricky Saint's entrance?
Well,
It
no.
was very subtle, but you know how at the part of the beat where it's like, and this is me trying to do it with my mouth, but dun, 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 dun. Well, the crowd after the dun, the end, the last note
hmm
was like, oh, they were saying that. It was very subtle, but they were saying, oh,
Okay.
I wish they did it louder because
Right.
I can see that catching on.
Yeah. And it might hopefully it will. Hopefully
Because
it will.
that will give Ricky Saints a little bit more juice, I think,
Yeah.
because now you have a crowd participation element.
Yeah. I mean,
Like all the top stars got that crowd participation element.
right. It
Even
it
the top upper part of the mid card, you get
right.
that.
I felt like it was very interesting and it was the right thing to pair him with Melo because Melo had the
Yeah,
same route. Like people weren't really cheering for Melo when he first hit the main roster when he first hit SmackDown. Like people
right.
was not cheering for him like they are now. They had to warm
Hmm.
up to him.
Hmm.
So yeah.
That's
I
true.
would like to see that though. I would like that to come to the States for Ricky Saint.
Yeah,
That
for
part because
sure.
I didn't notice that. So you made me want to go back and watch back and see if I can hear
Yeah.
it.
I saw somebody on, it was either X or it had to be X because that's what I spend most of my time on now on social
Right.
media. Somebody was like, yeah, this was cool that they did this, So I was like, let me check this out. What they talking about?
Right.
And I really paid attention to it when I watched back Night of Champions. And I was like, yep, yep. It's subtle, but it's there.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
any new thing that kind of starts, catching on, it starts subtly. And then it catches on.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't always what it was. It caught on, you know. It started out with just a few people doing the hand motion until the whole audience started doing it. So yeah, it's going to catch on. How long it will take for it to catch on, I don't know. I would be disappointed if it didn't catch on.
Right.
But anyway, Lil Yachty after the match, you think he studied the people's elbow that Snoop Dogg did?
No, I just feel like he was just doing doing his best impression of the Rock that he possibly could.
I only
That's
asked
it.
because the way that Lil Yachty was hitting the ropes was the same way Snoop Dogg was hitting the
Right,
ropes.
right, right. I mean,
The only difference was Snoop Dogg did the elbow the wrong direction, and he almost cracked heads with Miz when he did it.
right,
But
right.
otherwise, I was like, dang. I mean, I know you practicing moves somewhere behind the scenes somewhere, but that that
Or you say that's the you say
I
that's the best
mean,
thing you can pull out.
that's what you've been practicing.
Right.
Nah, I don't know. I'm giving him a
Hey,
hard
we
time on.
love Lil Yachty, man. Like
Yeah,
he do a
but
great job with Trick, man. But yeah, when it comes to the wrestling thing, yeah, I don't, got some work to do.
yeah. But I mean, if you ask Trick about it, Trick is going to say he's working hard to get to become get to a point where he's having a match.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I believe him. I'm just waiting for
Well, he
it.
definitely got a better tempo than Travis Scott does. So I mean,
Oh, for
you
sure,
know what I'm saying?
for sure he
Like
does.
Travis Scott temperament was a little too much for the WWE. They had to push him away, But Lil Yachty, he real chill and he ain't trying to do too much. So I think he
Yeah,
gonna be all right. He gonna be fine.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Um, let's go ahead and move on to the secession.
Okay.
So, if I'm remembering correctly, what was he saying about what would happen if either Wendy Chu or Nikkita Lyons would win? Was that like part of your follow the wins kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. I felt like
yeah,
if Nikita could get the win, it definitely would put her, and set her up to, what I'm saying, like, hey, main roster, like on X, I saw that it was rumors of her coming to the main roster
yeah.
uh this summer, and
Hmm.
summer started. She has a belt now, so it's almost like
Hmm.
those rumors are starting to have some life to it. But
Right.
yeah, so that's definitely what I was looking at, man. But just the match period was good, man,
Oh yeah, it
and
was
I
good.
was I was
Yeah,
very very happy to see Big Cat Keita go ahead and get that victory, man. That long time awaited victory that for her to hold the title up, like cause she
yeah.
she deserves it. You know what I'm saying? She
She
been
earned
she
it.
been putting in a lot of work, man. Had some hard setbacks from injuries, man. But I mean,
Yeah.
outside of that, like you can tell she's really starting to get her offense and
Hmm.
her like everything that she wants to do is starting to come together in the ring for her now.
Yes. Yes. For sure. For sure. And I do like her finish too. I do
Oh
like
my
it.
gosh, that roundhouse, man. Like, look, man, I love Steve Blackman, man. I love
Yeah.
Steve Blackman, and every single time when I see her break those moves out, man, it just put me in that round, like Steve
Yeah.
Blackman glacier type round, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like
No,
so
that's true.
so and that roundhouse she does is so clean, man. It's
It
so
really
clean.
is. It truly is. Like I'm like, wow. Like
Yeah.
this is how she incorporated because it seemed like she was at first in a way when she first started kind of you can tell she had that background,
Right.
but it wasn't as
Right.
clean.
Right.
Now it's so clean. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
putting it together. I feel you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. 'Cause this looks good.
Right.
So yeah, I think probably the most memorable part too was that intensity. Like her intensity level has increased too. Especially as far as when it gets deep into the match and she has to pull out something,
Right.
rather it's, Wendy Chu, had on her at first, so doing those reversals and just really putting together something where it looks like, okay, you're stringing together moves, you adding psychology to your game.
Yeah.
You're executing in a way that it actually makes sense,
Right.
why these things happened, you
Right.
know. And you're not posing and she is doing those little poses a little bit, but not nearly as much as she used to. It seemed like every
Yeah.
moment she had, she used to pose.
Right.
But
Right. And
now
I
that's not happening,
yeah, I love that.
so
I love
you
that.
cleaned
Like,
it up, and I
yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
she cleaned it up and man, like just imagine once they put a little more edge to her, you know what I'm saying? Cuz I feel like
Yeah,
she can get a little more edge, man, like like I love when she break out, little quick subtle funny moments that she give us. Like I
Right.
love that. But for the
Yeah.
most part, like that edge, man, like when she show that edge, man, it's like it's tough not to gravitate towards her. You know.
Right. Exactly. The one thing I want to ask you about, and the commentators was talking about, is how they was talking about a crystal. I'm like, what crystal are they talking about? What? I'm like, okay. Now I see what's happening here.
Eh,
But she gets the power from the crystal. I'm gonna have to see how that goes, or is that
right.
like a one-time thing? Is that something that she has because she's with do you think that that's gonna be something that's gonna be happens weekly, or is it just a big match kind of thing, or are they gonna bring up more about the crystal,
Right.
and the powers that it has?
Yeah, I think moving forward they definitely gonna probably come up with some more things to use the crystal, man, because they
Yeah.
they got a little funny dynamic going on between the two of them, man. So
They do. They
yeah,
do. They do. I was like, dang, that's something. That's
right.
something. But they got a dynamic though, and that's
Yeah,
important.
man. Like they're funny together, man. Like they've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
putting this together for almost a month now, if not
yeah,
more. So it's like, I'm feeling it, man. I don't have no problem with it. And like I said, I'm happy that she got a belt now, and like I also
yeah.
said, you gotta follow those wins, man. And she got the
Yep.
win, and it's been
Got the
rumors that
win.
she coming to the main roster. So I mean, look out, Big Cat might be on that main roster soon, man.
Might be. We'll have to see,
Mm-hmm.
man. We'll have to see. What do you think is going to happen with Wendy Chu? You think she's still going to be kind of down there in Evolve, kind of being a
Man,
kind of like a gatekeeper, or do you think
yeah, that's
she's going to come up to NXT again and, challenge for another title at some point somehow?
right.
What do you think is because her character actually developed pretty good too, I think,
Yes,
down in
it
Evolve.
did, man. Yes, it
Um,
did.
because she was that sleepy character for a
Right,
little bit.
right, right, right.
Then
She even
she
took it to
turned that sleepy
Evolve,
character into a dark character, and I was
Right,
like,
right.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, this is crazy.
Right, right.
Now she's basically pulling from both, but like putting
Mm-hmm.
together a character you can take seriously. I don't think you could take the other character seriously.
No, not really. Not sleepy. Not sleepy.
Yeah, you couldn't. You
Yeah.
couldn't. So I appreciate what they have come up with for her and how she's executing it. I just don't know what's next. Like it feels like she's just gonna be down there basically being a gatekeeper, have a match with me to prove that you belong kind of thing. Or does she have more coming? We'll
Right.
have to see,
Yeah, that's a good question, man. She been with WWE for a while now, and
Right. And she
she.
survived a few cuts.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's next for her. Like I would like to see her back in NXT, see what they can do with her. At least give her a chance, because
Yeah, yeah,
she
exactly.
carried the Evolve title for a good bit.
Hmm.
Had some defenses and everything of the title, and her matches has been good. So I mean,
Yeah,
I would say bring her back up to NXT, man, and give her a try. Like it's gonna be some spots open anyway. So you might as well go ahead and bring her
yeah,
up.
I
It's gonna be
will.
a lot of spots open. So bring her back to
Yeah.
NXT.
I could see her, and this probably be a really good segue too.
Hmm.
But I could see her challenging for the speed title at some point. I could
Oh
see that.
yeah, she's fit speed criteria big time. Big time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, um, I don't want to jump to speed yet. I was gonna say let's talk about the match on Great American Bash, but
Right.
I don't want to leap over Aaron Rourke and Max Abrams. So we'll put a pencil on that. Um, a pin on that rather. So.
Hmm.
Um, the next match that we're going to go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
uh, on this show was Max Abrams versus Aaron Rourke for the Men's Evolve Championship.
Right.
Um, this was a great match too, man.
Hmm.
Like watching this match, and maybe because I haven't watched enough Aaron Rourke matches, but watching this match, I was like, oh, he can go. Like this
Yeah.
man. can
Yeah.
go.
I
You
told
know, and
you.
I knew you
I
said that
told you.
before. It's
Yeah.
just that I had to see it with my own eyes. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what Will was talking about.
Yeah,
I see
man.
why he has the title on him right now.
Right, right. It's a reason why. It's a reason why. And I mean, he already made an appearance on NXT. I think it was 2 weeks ago. So
Mhm.
moving forward, man, like you said, the match that he had, and I'm not mad he didn't take the title off of him because he still got enough time and a lot of
Yeah,
things to do with it, you know.
right.
Max Abrams had a real nice showing, but at the same time, it's like you gotta keep the title on the one that's really doing that thing, and he's definitely
Yeah,
doing his thing, man. So
he is. And they made
yeah,
sure to say that he defended, that's his third defense, I think.
right, third
You know,
defense,
so it's like
third defense,
he's not just a champion that's going to keep losing, you know, or
right,
lose it after one or two defenses.
right,
He's there to stay, it seems like, at
mm-hmm,
least, you know, for now.
yeah, for now.
Perhaps until the next succession.
I know, right?
You
And that's gonna
know,
be a while from now. So I mean, he might have
yeah,
the title for the foreseeable future.
he might. But they had what's his name in VIP? Harlem
Right,
was in VIP. And it was talking about him being, you know, the next challenger, you know, for the title, or just having his eyes on being a challenger
right.
for the title. They was talking about that during the match. What do you make of him actually stepping up for Aaron Work against the Mog Squad?
I mean, I'm not surprised, man. Like, I mean, how many allies do Aaron really have in Evolve? So it's like
Yeah, he has all types of
you
allies.
pulling from a whole bunch of different places. Like you got Cappuccino Jones, but they have
Yeah,
mutual. You know what I'm saying? Like the
yeah,
enemy of my enemy is my friend, or so you can say it,
right.
whatever. So it's
Yeah,
like,
no, that's it. That's it.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think Harlem just being Harlem, he had beef with the Mod Squad. So anyway, so it's like right place, right time.
Yeah,
Might as well hop in there, and do what you got to do.
right. Exactly. Exactly. What do you make of them actually not successfully using the numbers game as well as the varsity project, vanity project?
uh, it's interesting, man. I mean, they got four people, so it's like I
I
don't
don't know
know.
either.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of it's kind of like I'm trying to like when I saw the way it unfolded, I was just like, man, like okay, Max Abrams had it in the bag. I'm just like, man,
I
they
thought so too. I
they
thought so too.
outnumbered or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna
You
figure
had
this
the
thing
referee
out.
down
Yeah,
for a long
right,
time.
right, right.
You
So
know,
it's
so,
like
but like,
yeah. I mean, but hey, we could just use this as an example of a growing group
hmm
figuring out
hmm
what they need to do to get victories and get ahead. So
right. And I think I like that just because you don't want to carbon copy. You don't want to copy and paste. You know,
yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
You wanna give an opportunity for growth.
Right.
When it comes to that,
Let them make their own mark, and they will.
they
It's
will.
it's just
They will.
don't it's just gonna take time.
Yeah. And they're a unit. You can tell. They dress alike,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
I
hand
like
motion
that.
alike. You
Right,
know, they're a unit, you know, and
right,
it's
right,
very
right.
clear who the leader is. Sometimes you need a leader, and that's Max
Yeah,
Abrams.
every group needs a leader, man. Every
Yeah.
group needs a leader.
And he's good at what he does in the ring. Like I heard commentary say kind of what we said about Max Abrams and the fact that he is both athletic
Hmm.
and strong. Like he does the power game well.
Right,
He does the athleticism well. He just puts it all together and it
right.
looks good. What
Yeah,
is he like 22, 23 years old? Like
yeah,
he's also built like a champion for
yeah.
real. We want to talk about it in that respect,
Right.
you know. So um it was good. It's good to see, you know, that he's just putting together all these good matches. Like during the match, I was thinking to myself, man, imagine if there was no Evolve.
I know, right?
You know, we wouldn't see these matches. In fact,
No,
Max Abrams would probably be losing to what's his name? Keanu Carter, you know,
right,
just as a person to lose to, you know,
right.
but Evolve gives these people an opportunity to look good on television.
Right.
And I like that. I
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
fact you have that opportunity. Like
Same.
if you watch Evolve and all of a sudden you see Max Abrams on your screen, you'll be probably right to assume that he's just a new guy that's going to get beat up and lose, But
Mm-hmm.
you get to see him actually work and work well and like put
Right.
together what's that like a 15-minute match or something like that,
Yeah,
between
man. It went
15-minute
for
matches.
a long time, and
Yeah,
I feel like yeah, they did their thing, man.
they did their thing, man.
15
So
minute match, man. Like you can't ask for more than that.
right,
Like
right. So, and then the right man won too. Yeah, it's good. It's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
So it was something that he did in the match that Aaron Work did in the match that I thought was also a good display of athleticism. I'm currently having a hard time remembering what it was. I know he does a couple kicks that
Yeah.
it looked good. Like another
Right.
person that got some good looking kicks is him. So I like his offense. I kind of wish he had a more impactful finish, but it fits his character, I think. That Molly go around that Molly Holly used to do. That's his finish.
You're right. Right.
But you know what? It's his character. It's what works for him, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the last thing I want to say, and then we'll move on to the next thing. I liked Work's gear, man. I really did.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
it was nice. I like the colors, like the design. I was like,
Right,
okay,
right,
that's
right.
different. I like that.
Okay.
So you know, I just couldn't help but think, wow, I like that. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up on the show.
Right.
So now that we had the Great American Bash portion of the show, uh,
Yes.
we do have a spotlight, man. We do have a
Spotlight.
spotlight. See the
Yes.
fireworks. Pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew.
I know,
Shine the
right?
light down.
Yeah,
Boom. Here
man.
we go.
Yes.
So we got it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the greatest match of the year,
Right.
not just between men and not just with the women too.
Right.
Is period of the
Yeah.
year. Been a lot of great matches. Is the
Right.
match between Zarya and Tatum Paxley.
Rest. Yes.
Woo!
Yes. Yes.
Man, oh man, they put together a hard hitting match.
Mm-hmm.
They put together a match full of reversals because you could tell they knew each other well.
Right.
Um, it's like there was an answer for everything. You saw great character work with Tatum Paxley.
Right.
Um, like even just I remember one spot where she was on the top rope and you could hear her just grunting like "Ah."
Right.
You could
Right.
hear her
Right.
doing that.
Right.
Like it's like she's different, man. And
Yeah.
she leans into that so much. And it just adds to the match because it's like, man, I know she's crazy. Another thing I remember is when she was on the top rope being folded in half, basically bent unnaturally on her back on the top rope,
Mm-hmm.
on that buckle, I mean the turnbuckle.
Right.
And then she turned around, started kneeing Zarya in the face and everything, like out of that position, like it almost in a way like she shrugged it off, So
Mm-hmm.
like she can tap into something that's very special. And she had the red contacts in her eye, so that's like mind games.
Yeah.
All of it
Yeah.
really is mind games,
Right.
and that's what I appreciate about what she brings to the table. Man, and even the near falls, it was like right when you thought the match was over, you get a kick out,
Right.
and I mean these were some awesome kickouts, like okay, this is gonna be the end of the match. Nope,
Right.
it's not. you know, um, you got Zarya Spears, that she did throughout the match that didn't finish the match.
Mm-hmm.
Very few actually can, I think, at this stage of their career.
Right.
So didn't that match start the show, or was that like the second match?
I just know it was the best match of the night.
It was the best match, yeah.
That's just what I know. It
It
was
should have been the
hands
main event.
down, yes, hands down best match of the night, man. Like
Yeah.
I mean, they did such an awesome job. Like I found myself at certain points watching that match, and I just got lost in it. Like I felt like at
Yeah.
certain points I was watching a WrestleMania main event during their match.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
man. Yeah.
that's just how great it was, man. Like I'm just like I was just in awe. I was just in
Yeah.
awe because I mean their first match was decent. You know, the one with Zarya took the belt off of Tatum, but
Yeah.
this one this past Sunday, man. Oh my gosh! Like I wasn't expecting to see that. Like I knew it was gonna be a good match, but if you would have told me going into Sunday that Zarya and Tatum was going to have a better match than Lola and Kendall, I would have told you was lying. I would have told you was lying. And Kendall Lola and Kendall had a good match. You know, I know we're gonna get
Yeah,
into it in a little bit, but they had a
yeah,
really good match. But Tatum and Tatum and Zarya, man, it was just fireworks, like you said, like
yeah. I
crazy.
mean, that was a great match. You have little moments like Zarya throws her over the barricade and she's in the
Right,
crowd, and then you have Tatum Paxley rising up,
right.
looking sleepy as I don't know what,
That was
So
funny.
it's
I was
like,
laughing when I saw that.
yeah, yeah. Then you have the moments where Zarya is looking brutal and multiple times during the match doing chokeholds from an elevated position,
Right.
So it's like it was so one of the things commentary said, and it's true, it was a brutal match.
It was.
It was a brutal
It
match.
was, man.
And the fact that you can have a brutal match without weapons,
Right. No weapons, man.
no weapons used,
No weapons
and really no
used.
cheating either.
No cheating either.
No, it
No
was
cheating.
just a brutal match.
Right.
I think maybe the referee was given some leeway because I don't some they spent a lot
Man.
of time outside the ring,
Yeah,
but
they did. That's where the magic happened. You know,
yeah,
outside the ring, they had a lot of magical moments outside of the ring.
they
You know,
did. They did.
yeah,
Yeah. Very clearly a match of the year candidate. We're right smack dab in the middle of the year, but
yeah. Like,
match of the year candidate.
man, like it's like I said, I was not expecting to see that type of match, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Will's watch list up there again. You know, you saw
Okay.
the interaction
Yeah.
between Tatum and Zarya in the ring. You know, Zarya was down there saying a lot of things to Tatum. Tatum set
Mhm.
her up moving forward to really have a nice little run. She gonna have a good run. Tatum set her up to have a real good run with the
Oh yeah.
with the women's North American title, and for her to stay down there for that long, you
Mhm.
know, and pretty much thank her, you might as well say,
Right.
for helping her. That's another sign. It just lets me know that Tatum is on her way.
Yeah. I came away from that match thinking, okay, the NXT women's division is in good hands with Zarya as the
Oh
champion.
my gosh, yes, yes. She
Like for
proved
sure.
that she could do it. Like she didn't get the run that we thought she was gonna have, and I think, well, not think, we already know she was overshadowed
Oh yeah.
by, you know what I'm saying, Julia and Stephanie. Like, you know, like
Right.
she was overshadowed by them. You know,
Yep.
despite the huge preview, like they was giving her nice previews
Oh
weeks
yeah. Oh
leading
yeah.
up to her debut, and then they debuted them, all
Nice.
of them, all three of them, like back to back to back. So
Mhm.
she kind of got lost.
She
She got
did.
lost, you know. But
Yeah.
I like the
So
way they brought it back with
yeah.
far as Soul, like
So
writing the
Rika. Yeah.
storyline out. Like it was because of Soul that I wasn't able to reach my full potential like I should
Right.
have been able to.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah,
The fact that she's a heel is making it work. I cannot yet
absolutely,
imagine her being
absolutely.
a face right there, trying to, be the champion and be smiley and be like, hey, bad guys, I'll beat
Right,
you up because you're bad. I can't imagine that.
right.
It has to be the way that it is right now because that's her story. You
Yeah,
know, that's her reality.
right,
It may not be Soul's reality. It might even be Kalani Jordan's reality.
right.
But and I bring her up only because she's been overlooked and all that stuff,
Yeah,
and that's what she feels. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's something that um she's in good hands.
yeah.
I mean, well, NXT's in good hands with her, rather. Um, so yeah, I think before the show we talked about the fact that Kalani Jordan, that's why I brought her up too, because I wanted to kind of connect it somehow. Kalani Jordan walked up on a very upset, distraught Tatum Paxley. Um, and basically was like, "Look, I don't feel sorry for you." That's basically what
Right,
she was like.
right,
"I
right,
don't feel
right.
sorry for you. You're back here crying.
Mm-hmm.
I've been overlooked, by so many people,
Yep. And I'm better than all y'all.
better than all y'all, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been here only 3 years,
Right,
So she's like, you can cry, but I'm better than you, that
right.
kind of thing. And Pasley, once again, leaning into that great character work.
Yeah,
She went from
yeah.
crying to being like, ah, boom,
Right. Like,
with that forearm. Like once you get Tatum and Paxley's attention, it's over for you. So
right.
I personally think there's going to be a match, even if it's
Yeah.
just a one match.
Yeah.
They can do
It's
that.
gonna be something because I mean, hey, they gotta do something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like we know they coming to the main roster, but at the same time, like you gotta do something while you still in NXT, and I feel like
right.
this may be that's something that they doing with them, and but they're both coming up soon, very soon, in the very near future.
Yeah, I just don't know how they get there. It does kind of muddy the waters a little bit because when they're having even if it's a brief rivalry, your whole thing about watching the losses.
Right.
If both are coming up, who's going to lose? Like how does that work?
Hey, look, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work because look, right. My formula is well. I guess I need to say for NXT to the main card, the key losses. Follow
Okay.
those key losses. So,
Okay.
yeah, moving forward, follow the key losses for NXT to the main roster, and follow the key wins for Evolve to NXT.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah,
Okay, cool. All right. We're gonna move to. Is there another match we want to cover? I know that was our spotlight on there.
yeah,
There was a couple matches I watched. I was like, dang, we didn't say we was going to talk about it, but I kind of want to, even if we just barely touch on it.
right.
But like, I really enjoyed the match between Shallow Hill and
Yeah,
Tristan Andrews.
yeah.
Man, that was a heck of a match.
Yeah,
And now
surprisingly it was.
it really was
Yeah.
like you got the power game from, and really, I guess both have a power game, so to speak, but
Mhm.
you got a lot of it from Shallow Hill. Um,
Right.
you also got mind games from Shallow Hill.
Right.
I don't know, man. And this is a good I don't know, man. They both are great, man. Like
Mhm.
the same way I say that NXT is in good hands with Zarya, they're ways away, but Shallow Hill and Tristan Angels, man, uh, NXT is okay. If that's the mid card, NXT,
Yeah.
because they're going to eventually level up to the main event of NXT, and it's going to be
Right.
something else, so that's going to be good. I just wanted to
Mhm.
bring that up because that monitor, I mean that phone thing, and then with the mask that dude had on, that Shallow Hill had on, that
Yeah.
scared Tristan Angels,
Right.
made him run away, and then Tristan Angels turn around and there was Shallow
right.
Hill right there. How? Like how?
Right.
Like either Shallow Hill is really fast or he got a twin. So I thought that was cool. Uh yeah, I just wanted to cover that aspect of it. Um since we're crunched for time, I wanted to talk about Saquon Sugars a little bit in that match because I enjoyed that match too.
yeah, it was a
Um
very good match.
yeah, I think the right man won. I came away from the match thinking, yeah, we were right about him being a baby face and being like the top baby face on that roster. I can see that. I can see that. I could see Saquon Sugars being the crowd favorite within NXT for a while. He just has it. I mean, his gear was
Yeah.
cool. His entrance is cool. His energy, his fire up, when he's down, when he's about to lose, he fires up real good too. Um, so I wanted to just at least touch on that. Um, Another thing we're going to touch on real quick too, I wanted to talk about was the opening match of the show. Um, that was also a good match, a great match actually. With uh Nuraku and Tony D. They had a great match too. So he remained champion.
Right.
Tony D did. I was surprised that it ended so suddenly, but hey, maybe we have to build up Naraku a bit more, which I think they're gonna end up doing.
Yeah,
Uh,
this ain't the last they gonna see of each other.
Right, exactly.
Remember he said they going to war. So
You're going
this
to
just the
war. So
first. This just the first battle. That's it.
right, exactly. That's the first battle. Um, it was a lot of titles on the line. I couldn't watch all the title matches. Not that I didn't want to, it's just I didn't have time to. Um,
Right.
but Ren Sinclair retained her title.
Yeah.
We'll just leave that at that.
Mhm.
Um, we also had, and we can talk about this at length, the women's championship match
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
um, Kendall Gray and Lola Vice. Um,
Right.
and you touched on it a little bit,
Mhm.
when comparing um, Nikita Lyons, not Nikita Lyons, wrong show. But anyway, you were right. So,
Right.
um, man, their styles just mesh together so well, man. You
Absolutely.
have that MMA background, and the strikes from that MMA background and the holds and from that MMA background. And then you have, the wrestling background, and the throws and the holds from wrestling that Kendall Gray does.
Right.
And when you put those together, it was beautiful, man. And then you had Kendall Gray actually trying to come back. Um, Lola Vice with strikes. I mean, it looked slightly cartoony, but
Mhm.
you could tell she was trying to be like, look, I can go blow for blow with you if I really needed to, so I
Right.
appreciate that. At the end, when we started seeing lots of holds from Ren Sinclair,
Yeah.
not Ren Sinclair, but Kendall Gray,
Right. Right. Right.
the ankle lock on the floor, like you're not gonna win, but you're doing some damage.
Right.
You know, you can't win the title down there.
Right.
Um, then she, avoided another kick from because it was a lot of reversals in this match, a lot of reversals.
Mhm.
Lola Vice dodging, not dodging, but kicking, and Kendall Gray catching that foot and turning into an ankle lock.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah.
So
It was.
what I want to ask about with this, what do you think is Uh, do you think the right call was made? And do you think this means Lola Vice is coming to the main roster?
I mean, look, man. I already said what the three piece was gonna be. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And this is definitely a key loss for her. She lost the NXT title. So
Yeah.
most definitely she's coming to
Yeah.
the main roster. You know what I'm saying? Most
It's just not
definitely
over.
Kalani Jordan is coming to the main roster, and of course Tatum Paxley is coming to the main roster. All three of them, they're gonna be on the main roster in a very, 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 very near future.
Yep. 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 So, um, I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I think the right woman won. I think
Yeah,
last week I predicted, that Kendall Gray was going to win. I wasn't sure,
right.
but it was very apparent that the right person won because they were behind both of them. The
Yeah,
crowd was very
yeah,
clearly, and uh, it was just a good match overall that um, I think they both needed too because it kind of
right,
solidified their place, on the roster. Rather they're moving up to another roster where they're staking their foothold within
right.
the NXT roster. When we're talking about Kendall Gray, it was just good, man. And then you have the
Yeah,
friendship between Kendall Gray and Ren
yeah,
Sinclair
yeah.
going strong still.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know what story that's going to be. Are they just going to be friends that are champions and just having each other back when necessary?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so. I mean, they already did Zarya and Soul thing. Ain't no need for them to do 2.0 with them two. You
yeah,
know.
no, we don't even see that.
Yeah.
Not yet. It'll be too soon.
Right.
So that's going to be cool to see. But um, yeah, I think you might be right. I think if not all three, one of them three are coming up to the main roster. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of
Yeah.
how and when.
All three is definitely not at the same time. But far as back to back to back to back, like
Yeah,
they're coming in, and it's gonna be in a short amount of time between the three of them, because it's like, what more do you want them to do? You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like Lola, she was able to capture the women's NXT championship and the mixed tag team championship. She was double champion for
right.
a good little minute. You know, you take Kalani Jordan. She was the very first women's North American champion. You know,
Yeah,
so that's big. You know, like
yeah,
what more do you want her to do? And then you got
right,
Tatum Paxley. You know, she was able to get the NXT championship and a North American championship.
right.
So, you know, it's almost like what more do you want the three of them to do before you put them on the main roster? It's like they have nothing else to do. They done it all. So
They have.
it's about time, you know.
Yeah. I just had a crazy idea.
Uh oh.
What if they just put all three women in the match together, triple threat style? Nothing on the line. It's
I
just
mean, hey,
respect. It's just
might as
like,
well. You already got Kalani saying she the best.
right.
So if you better than all of them, why not show it in the match?
Yeah.
You know,
Just all about respect, all about showing who's the best. That's what the match is going to be about, if
right?
they do it. You know, I don't think I'm gonna consider that a bold prediction because I didn't even say it in a bold way, but it's just an idea.
Right, right,
So
right.
um maybe that's how they kind of do it because I can kind of see, them finishing that story and then saying, okay, respect, and they all, I don't know, handshake, hugs, whatever, and then they just go
Right,
about it merry way, and maybe they do go at the same time to the main roster,
right,
So
right.
um, it'll be interesting to see that. Because I'm just thinking about, you remember, man, this is going back to the WCW days, but you remember the Radicals? When they were all in WCW at first,
Mm-hmm.
it was Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, and Dean Malenko.
Oh
They were always fighting
yeah,
each other in
yeah, yeah,
WCW.
yeah,
Then when they
yeah.
came over to WWE, they were known as the Radicals. They were a team together.
Right, right.
Did their thing that
Dang,
way.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. I forgot all about that. You right.
Yeah, so they could do something like that with them three. It'll be
They
it'll be
could.
interesting to
It
see.
would be very interesting. You know, they already tried that before last year with Roxanne and Julia. You know, before
Yeah,
they eventually split them up and put one on Raw and Julia on SmackDown, Roxanne on Raw. So I don't
right.
know. It would be interesting. I mean, and look, man, like shouts out to Zone or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But he if they do that, it'll definitely bring what he feels like more so in the forefront, like Triple H quote unquote infatuations with different groups or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it ain't no need to do it. You already got Fatal Influence, up there. You already got Jay Cargill and Meacham and B
That's
Fab.
true. That's
So
true.
it's like why come up with another 3 team female 3 team or whatever.
Because Judgment Day about to go away. That's why.
Wow. Okay.
You
Well,
know
I
what?
mean, it ain't no need to replace them. My
Judgment Day is going away. That's my bold prediction.
Oh, you got another one. That's the third one tonight. I heard that. I heard that, man.
Yeah, man.
Judgment Day is going away. Bold prediction, man. I
Yep.
don't even know if we can count that. They're on the main roster, man. They've been on the main roster for a good little minute. I mean, technically, I mean they do have Roxanne in there
Right.
with them, but she's past the 1 year window. So I mean, what? I mean, hey, it's okay.
Is she? I thought she
That's a bonus. You gave us a bonus
a bonus
bold
a,
prediction.
a Blaze bold take bonus. That's
Yeah,
what it
you
is.
gave us a bonus. Okay, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see this, man. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, we'll see that. Um, I think we covered everything, man. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. We
We
got
ended the
we
show with a bold take out of nowhere, a bonus
Uh-huh.
bold take.
Bonus bold
Um,
take, man. You throwing bold takes all up in there, man.
uh, you know what? I wasn't expecting it, but it happened.
Right. It's all good. It's all
So
good, man.
you did your watch list. We got
Yeah. I got a
we got
couple of them in there.
got a couple of them in there, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Um, man, I really wish that match was better between Trick and Ricky, man. I just wanted to say that out
Same,
loud.
man. Same. Like, yeah, I was definitely disappointed. I was definitely disappointed. But the thing about them two, man, like they're always improving.
They're always improving.
They're always working, man. So I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they're gonna give us a redemption match, man.
right.
I can see it coming because it's still a lot to that storyline. Still a lot to that
It is.
storyline that they can fill out and everything. We haven't seen the best of them yet. So
Right.
yeah, like I feel like they're definitely gonna be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, man. So that's it, man. You got any final words, final encouragements, or anything like that for the crew?
Well, the first couple of weeks it was just be you, you know.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. Just be
you
you.
know that's what it's been, man. But outside of that, I would say the best encouragement I can give. I don't know if this gonna go for people or if this gonna go for just prospects. Period. Just trying to get seen or get on the rosters. Like, hey, just keep on doing work, man. Just keep on
Yeah,
working. And that's with everything in life. You got to work when people don't see you working. You know,
exactly.
and
Exactly.
as long as you do that, man, eventually you're gonna get to where you wanna be. And it's also the main people that they're not doing it for praise or glory or anything like that. They're doing it because that's just who they are. So,
Right. Right.
you know.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, there's a saying, there's like integrity is what you do when no one is looking. That's
Right,
what you said
right,
reminded me
right,
of that.
exactly, exactly,
And I tell my
exactly.
son that too. He's only 7, but I still tell him, look, just because I'm not looking don't mean you don't do what I just said for you to
Right.
do. You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, so that's good. I'm glad that you said that because that makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
People just need to remember that, man. Uh for people that don't know, both of us, this is our first time. No, technically, this is your second time doing a podcast, but this is my first time doing a podcast, man, and putting my face out there for the world to see. So um, with this much consistency, I did it,
Right.
with different live streams and stuff, but they weren't necessarily being pushed out there as what you can watch,
Right.
necessarily. Um, at least not to the extent that we're doing it with this podcast.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
um yeah, so I put myself out there, didn't know whether I'd be good with it or not. You know, I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it,
Yeah, man, you
so
doing your thing, man. You doing your thing. And like, hey, this experience has been great. I can't wait to continue it. And like you said,
yeah.
technically, this is not my first podcast. This is my first video podcast.
And we also started this podcast just on a whim.
Right.
Our cousin was like, "Y'all should just make this a podcast," and
Right,
we was like,
right, right, right. We
"Oh,
just talk
we
wrestling,
could do
wrestling, wrestling,
that."
wrestling in the chat,
Yeah,
man. Like crazy, you know.
yeah. My brother was like, "Yeah, y'all just need to do it, man." So
Right, right.
that kind of encouraged us, and we just put it together. We was
Yeah,
like,
put
"All
it
right."
together rather quickly, man. Next thing you know,
Which is
we
crazy. We
recording,
just
like that's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. So we did it. Came up with the podcast name early. We actually had a technically a different podcast name, but
Right, 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 right.
that didn't work out.
Yeah, yeah, man. I feel like everything definitely worked for a reason for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Even coming to the name and the tweak of the name and the
right,
tweak of the colors. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Which
you
y'all
know,
y'all got to see it kind of,
right,
so
right. Like the tweak of everything, man.
yeah,
Like we're definitely like night and day
right,
from start to now. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like looking back now, I feel like we kind of like had a Halloween show. Looking what we looking at what we started with.
Yo, yeah, that kind of. orangish, reddish, and black.
Right, right,
Uh,
right, right.
yeah, you're right. You're
But
right.
it for us, it looked good to us, and we was good with it. But it's like
Yeah,
now looking at like the logo that we got now and the colors that we got now. When you look back on that, it's almost like, damn, what the hell was we thinking? Like.
it's just basic, but it worked for what we were doing because
Yeah,
at the
it did.
time we used the tools that we had.
Right,
So
exactly, exactly. So
now, we was like, okay, let's upload it, not upload it, upgrade it. You
yeah,
know,
man. Yeah, we had a very very good upgrade, man. So
yeah, we
that's
figured out the stuff that helps us look better and present better.
right, 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 right.
So
Trying
hey,
trying our
that was
best, man.
good.
Trying our best for y'all.
Yep. So there you go. You just got a little bit of a background for how this
Right,
show came about.
right. I know, right?
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure people are like, how did this happen? You'll
Yeah,
get a little
man.
bit
Like
more.
we just jumped into it, man. I mean, but before we go, me and Blaze, I've been knowing Blaze for, man, I feel like over 20 years now. Now that I think about it.
If it's not over, it's very close to 20.
Yeah, yeah. I think I feel like it's over 20. You know what I'm saying? I think
I
I
remember
think when I first met you, you was either 18 or 19.
I thought I was in my 20s, at least 20.
No, I don't I mean, I know you older than me
Oh,
by a year, but I
no,
just
I
I
think
just
you're
feel like,
right.
yeah.
I think you're right because we moved to where we moved to.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
Uh-huh.
you are right. Dang, it is over 20. That's
Right, right,
crazy.
right. Over
So
20
yeah,
years, man.
we got the report didn't come out of nowhere, out of
Right, right,
blue air.
right,
We've been
right.
had rapport. It's
Exactly,
just that we never
exactly.
really talked about wrestling with each other before because he wasn't watching at the time, and really I
Yeah,
wasn't watching at the time because
right.
I was out of it. Um, I've been back into wrestling longer than he has, but
Yeah.
still, back then we used to play, or at least we remember playing WWF No Mercy.
Right,
That's how far we go back. So,
yeah.
young kids, WWF No Mercy was a Nintendo 64 game that did not have online capabilities.
No.
You had to be in front of the game
Right, right.
in the
Yep.
same room,
Four controllers.
or controllers. Yep, exactly. So that's how far we go back. We're
Yeah.
both thereabouts in our 40s now, so
Right, 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 right,
it's
right.
it's it's been a while. That's crazy that it's been 20 years.
Yeah, man. It's crazy when
Wow.
you think about it, man. So,
Yeah. So that's where
yeah.
the rapport comes from.
Right.
Um, we didn't just meet online and be like, "Hey,
Right,
you want to
right,
do this
right, right.
podcast?" We didn't do
Yeah.
that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there's some podcast creators that meet like that. So
Right, right, right.
it's cool. But yeah, yeah, we go back. We go back a long time. That's the whole point.
Hmm.
Um,
Don't forget to like, subscribe, uh, share, especially
yeah,
share, especially comment. Like put
yeah, yeah.
like we said before. Put it in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
follow us on all socials. Send us stuff. To react to. You know what I'm saying? All the engagement that we can get, we really
Right,
appreciate it. Follow us on every podcast platform, man.
right.
Uh, follow us, period. Like I said, conversations, like Blaze said last week. You know what I'm saying? If you DM him anything or me anything or just say anything, about whatever, and it's worth repeating, you definitely get a shout out. We're small now, but I promise you, you know what I'm saying? You give us some time, we gonna be up there, we gonna be out there. So,
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And I'm active on socials. I need to get active on all the ones that we talk about, but like on X the most. That's why I say that first. Like you can find me on X at
Right,
CJ
right, right. Yeah,
XI
you
because
you
that's the one I'm
busy
on
on
the most.
X. Yeah, you busy on X.
But we're also on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
at the following match, or is it following match?
It's the following match on
The
Instagram. The,
following
the
match on
only thing
Instagram.
is following match at following match is on X.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then we got Will on everything on
Yes.
everything.
Well, on everything, on everything. 7-7 behind it. You'll find me real fast. I'm not
Yep.
as active yet, You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I got a lot going on outside of podcasting. So
Yeah, yeah,
soon as I get that wrapped up, I will definitely be a lot more active. But that's gonna be months from now. But
yeah,
just being able to be on the podcast with my boy Blaze on a regular weekly basis, that's enough for me for right now. But I definitely get more active on social medias in the near future.
yep, yep. Yeah, I can tell he's not as active because I be sending him stuff and he don't be saying nothing,
Yeah,
so
man. Like I know, and I'm bad with that. Like I be late, but you
it's
know
all
what I
good.
got going on. I got so
I
much
already
stuff
know.
going
You,
on.
you, you ain't gotta tell me, man. But I had to throw you under the bus just slightly.
Yeah, he
It was a
said
Tonka toy.
slightly.
That's all it
He
was. It
said
wasn't a big bus. It
slightly.
was a
Oh
Tonka
my
toy.
gosh.
Hey, man, you got me a couple weeks ago, dude. I had to get you back.
Right, right. It's all good. It's all
But
good.
what else? What else? We on Instagram.
Yeah,
At also following Match.Blaze. That's the one that I kind
yeah.
of
Mm-hmm.
put my own personal spin on stuff if I want to do that.
Right.
It's still related to the pod though. Um, we already said we're on everything 77,
Mm-hmm.
so find them there. We're on YouTube Shorts. We're on for the visual stuff. Then for video,
Yeah.
we're on YouTube and on Spotify. That's also video when it's uploaded.
Yep.
Um, then you can find us on Amazon Music, Apple
Mm-hmm.
Music,
Mm-hmm.
iHeartRadio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think I covered them all, right? Spotify, Apple Music,
Yeah.
Amazon Music,
Yeah.
and iHeartRadio. Yep,
Yep.
we're on all those. Like he said, like, comment, do the stars, do
Yeah.
the
Rate,
likes, whatever you need to
follow.
do.
Yeah, all that good
Do all
stuff,
that.
man.
Yeah, just the engagement is good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm finding. The engagement gets you out there. Um, and when we post something on our socials, interact with it, man. Just do it. If it's a clip, interact.
Right.
You know, if it's a post about pushing our podcast, go ahead and push it too. Retweet it,
Right.
repost it.
Right. Right.
Share it with your friends, share it with your family.
Yeah.
If you know somebody at work that like wrestling, let them know.
Right. Right.
If your mama like wrestling, let her know.
Right.
Just just put her on.
Right.
Just two young men just talking.
Yeah. And it's
Talking about what
free.
they and it's free.
It's free. It don't
You ain't
cost
gotta pay.
nothing to like, subscribe, and share, follow, rate. It don't cost you anything.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. You don't have YouTube login? Get a YouTube login.
Yeah.
You just need one email address. That's all.
Right. Right. That's it.
Yep, just do that. Create a password you can remember.
Mm-hmm.
You in there. That's
Yep.
all. And then you can comment. You
Right.
can subscribe. You can like. You can do all that.
Yep.
You can flip us up if you want to. You can make a clip.
Right.
You can do that too.
Right.
That's all. It's not a lot to ask, is it? And if it is, let us know.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. We just
Enough of
messing
the
with y'all at
plugging.
this point. If y'all lasted this long, man, hey man, y'all some real ones, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate you,
no,
man.
you're some real ones. If you lasting this long and all we doing is just plugging. Oh man. But well, that's it, man. Until
Yeah.
next week.
Yes, sir.
This is the following match with Blaze and Will. Deuces.